Now that I've had some practice milling up the white pine with the chainsaw mill, I'm ready to graduate and try doing a hardwood log. This cherry log was cut about 6 months ago. It's just a bit too heavy for the tractor to pick up with the loader, but I'm gonna get this set up and mill it into some lumber. First things first, I need to clean up this end, so I'm gonna make a square off cut back about a foot from this end so I can get rid of the notch where it was cut out when this was dropped. And then at the other end, it was splitting into a double trunk. And what you can see is that this is kicking up where this trunk was coming away. So I'm gonna also cut this back. So even though I have 12 feet, if I could come all the way to the end, I'm gonna end up taking about a foot off each end to knock this back to something that's a lot straighter. You can just see how straight that log is. It'll be nice and straight. I can lay a board on there and it'll be relatively easy to mill this out. Whereas if I have that, it's gonna mess up being able to set up for a straight cut. This could be pretty interesting, the way this grain goes. Now that we got these ends cut off and we've shed 100 pounds anyway off this log, I'm gonna see if I can get it up off the ground with the tractor. So this is the big end, and this is definitely the largest log that I've worked with this particular mill, and it's really too big for this mill, but we're gonna try it anyway. So I'm gonna have to just take off a slab, turn it, square it up, take off a slab, and work my way around, because this is 20 inches across. I've got a 15-inch cut with my 18-inch bar, and this is gonna be a good deal of work. But if we can get this slab down to a cant, from there, I'll be able to mill off boards. That's going to be the tricky thing. I got to cut there, I'm not going to make it through. The second side slabbed off, I have set the mill as deep as it'll go, and it looks like we'll just make it in terms of being able to take a parallel line slab off the bottom. Nice. Well, it's an imperfect cant. This face and this face do have a little bit of a hook to them. The other two faces, though, these look pretty good. And we are 14 by 14. So I think I'm just going to take this down into boards. And of course, we're going to have a little bit of bark or a little bit of live edge on at least the first one. Well, that ended up taking all afternoon. Each 14-inch wide rip cut took 10 to 15 minutes to run the 10 feet down the log. I did get the whole thing done. Quite a pile of sawdust here, and I've got all the lumber on the forks clamped onto the tractor bucket. In total, I've got two 2x14s and then 6 1¼ by 14, all 10 feet long out of that log. So hopefully I can lift that up now that it's shed the slabs and all of the sawdust from each of the cuts. Can't quite get it to full height, but it's enough. I'll be able to slide those boards up into this loft. And after I take off a few, I'll be able to pick it up just a little bit more to make it easier. Well, there is a big difference doing the hardwood compared to the pine. It takes more time. It's also a lot heavier moving the log and the boards around. That 14x14 milled up is really all this Ford 1700 could lift with the clamp-on forks. Now, if I had regular pallet forks that shifted that load back towards the loader pins, probably would have been no issue getting it all the way up to full height. That might be an upgrade that's coming for this tractor.